Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. And if you are new to this live stream, this is your first time, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I want to welcome you into the space. If you're new to me, my name is Carey. And on this channel, I do a lot of different things, everything related to your spiritual growth and development. I am an intuitive Akashic Records and tarot reader, and I'm also a teacher. And today, what we're going to do, and what we do most every Friday, is we do a series of collective readings. And with this, I really like to show a variety of, first of all, bringing in different messages that I think really help you and support you both in your daily life and also on your spiritual path, and really learning to validate all the things that have probably been happening for many of you. So these are all collective readings, and I hope they serve you well. So every now and then you'll see me look down as I'm going to be checking in with the chat for those people who are here. But without further ado, we're going to get started. So I like to always show people what the agenda for the day is, because we always have a list and it kind of keeps things focused and organized, just like I like it. So this is pretty much our live stream most weeks. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would really love it. It would be fantastic if you could make sure that you check out the subscriber posts. I post different messages to my subscribers, and also often I want to connect in with all of you and find out, first of all, how you are, and then second of all, maybe doing polls to find out what you're interested in having me cover. Now, this definitely goes in with the live stream itself, but also it's the videos, because I teach topics that I think are the things you guys want to see me create videos on. But I also would love to hear what you're wanting to know, what you're wanting to learn. Now, this can be about most topics to do with spiritual growth, healing, development, developing your intuition, connecting with your guides, manifestation, and especially working in the Akashic Records. So all of those things apply. So if you can, please make sure, first of all, to interact with all the videos themselves, and then watch the posts, which are on the subscriber section of my channel. And always make sure to, hello, Amber, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for saying hello. And it would be really great if you're watching for the first time. I would love it if you could become a subscriber. That way I can get to know you and we can interact. It also helps my channel tremendously if people are, hello, Elizabeth, welcome, welcome. So it really helps my channel a lot if you can really become a subscriber primarily, and then make sure to like and then comment on videos, especially if you have a question about something. So today I had a really great question from one of my subscribers, and it got me thinking that I need to make a video series about all of the spiritual words that a lot of intuitives and spiritual teachers and coaches use. Sometimes we just, hi, Lizzie. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So what I honestly sometimes take for granted is that I think that everyone watching the videos understands some of the words I'm using to explain concepts, things like transmutation, alchemy, shadow work, right? And I don't want to ever assume that everybody knows what these terms mean. So I'm going to create videos on these topics. So if you really have something that you've been wondering about, you're not sure about, that is something you even want me to elaborate on, I would love it if you could just go ahead and put it on any one of my videos. You can also just post it onto the post set where I mentioned I post for the subscribers. Okay. So let me go over what we're going to be covering today. And all of you, thank you so much for being here live. It means so much to me. And then again, thank you for watching on the replay. I have to tell you guys a funny story. So last week I did this. We had so much fun. Last week we did our live stream. And I thought, oh, it was such a great live stream. We covered so many great topics. The readings were really on point and everyone was having a great time. And I listened back to it and I realized there was this background music the entire time. which was the countdown music from the Livestream channel. And I was like, oh goodness, the tech things we all deal with. And also my microphone was very inconsistent. So I'm trying to get it all the setting up, as it were, right? So we're working on all these parts, moving parts. So again, if you're here in the chat, I won't be necessarily looking down straight away because my camera's up here. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to when I live stream, but we will continue on. And you guys in the chat, feel free to just put comments and I'll definitely get to it. So what kind of readings are we doing here? Well, one of the things that I do is I am a channel for divine beings. And I work with a lot of goddesses. In fact, I tend to work with a group of goddesses now, and I refer to them as the Rose Council. And we'll definitely talk more about that over time. But essentially, they are under what I like to say is the Magdalene Rose Council. And this is just basically divine feminine goddesses that are here to help us awaken our strength, our anonymity, our self-love, our self-concept, and so we can step into our power. And it's part of that healing of the collective energy, right? Divine feminine, divine masculine. The other thing is, one of the big buzzwords people talk about is twin flames. Now, my concept of twin flames and what I think sometimes the concept of twin flames, I think there may be some discrepancies, which is totally fine. And everyone is entitled to their opinion. The way I look at twin flame energy is more about an archetype of divine masculine, divine feminine joining together for all of us to connect and have balance again as humans on the planet and as spiritual beings. So if you hear me refer to those things, because sometimes I will in my readings, that's what I'm referring to. So today we're going to be, of course, tapping in and connecting with one of the goddesses. We aren't sure who will be here, are we, everybody? Every week it's different. It's always a surprise for everyone who comes every week. Then also, after that, we'll be doing a few Akashic Records readings, messages. And it usually is about 2, sometimes 3. So when I tapped in today into the Akashic Records, into the energy before I turned, we went live, I got some really strong messages today. So it's going to be a fiery one. So get ready, everybody. I'm excited about it. And then finally, we wrap it up with ancestor messages. Now, I'm a medium, and sometimes we do bring through someone's loved one, but typically my intent is that we bring forth ancestral messages that help people feel connected to their ancestors. So it's more of a collective reading, and that's what all these are. And as always, if these resonate, wonderful. Or maybe one of them will resonate, or maybe they'll all resonate, or maybe none. And either whatever happens is perfectly okay. There is, we just go with what it says. Now, later, if you're watching this, there'll be timestamps because I'll edit this connected to all of the entire live stream. So you can go back and look at the reading specifically, because I know everyone's busy. So we never know, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune in and see which goddess is stepping forward. I want to say when I was tuning in before, I was feeling one of the either Germanic and or Norse pantheon goddesses, but I'm not quite sure. So we're going to see who's coming forward. Now, I have a specific deck that I work with the goddesses, and this one in particular, which is going to be a little hard to see because of my camera. But this is called it's upside down, the European Goddesses and Spirits Oracle deck. This is a fantastic, beautiful deck I got on a Kickstarter with Johanna Pohl. I highly recommend her work. She's a beautiful artist from Europe. So I'm just going to tune in and see who's here. And I may pull the card first. I don't quite know yet. So let me just get in and see who's coming forward. Okay, just a second. So I'm just going to tune in my energy. Okay, so I'm getting the goddess Frigg, Frigg. She is, I believe, Odin's wife from the Norse pantheon. So I'm excited to connect with her. Let me just first blend with her energy, see what messages are coming, then we'll go to the card, okay? So what she's mentioning to me is this energy of essence of bravery. and strength. And she's saying, now is a time to witness, and it's a time to pull all your resources from your ancestors and from your spiritual guides, because things are difficult right now on the planet. She's recognizing that. And just like many of the Norse gods and goddesses, they are a very strong bunch. And so they have a lot of pride, they have a lot of self-esteem, and they want you to have that as well. And Frigg definitely has a maternal nature, but she's extremely steely strong. And so what she's saying, the message is, don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. You are your own messenger. You are your own savior. And she's also saying there's a lot of propaganda right now, which wants you to believe everything is love and light. And she said that is a mistake, because not everyone has the best intentions, and you really have to armor yourself. That's the word she's using. Just the collective part of you, to really be as strong as you need to be and to listen to your instincts above all else. She is saying she thinks you should guard your energy and make sure that you are placing protection around yourself, around your home. And this is just an important step. She said this will give you a lot of peace of mind and clarity and deep insight, so that your own power won't be flattened, is how she's saying it. She's also saying that deep in your own ancestry, there is so much wisdom. And this goes before any of the patriarchy in general was covered up your powerful divine nature. And she is saying you are a spark of the Creator. And please do not forget that. She's also mentioning something about wind and preparation. And the image I'm getting of her is standing outside. Hi, Rosie. Good to see you. Is standing outside on a mountain. And she is holding herself steadfast and strong, and really gathering strength from the earth, from the ancestors and from the earth. So I'm going to pull her card and read this for you. And welcome, everybody, if you're joining us. We are doing a channeled message. We are talking right now to the goddess Frigg. Second card out. Now, I'm going to show you guys this. And again, my camera, unfortunately, I'll put a pictures of this. This is her picture. I'm going to read it from also the text. I have an entire book that is a fantastic book that Johanna created, where she did her historical research as well as connecting with this beautiful goddess. So let's just leave that there for the moment for all of you to see. It's a little bit hard to see, but let's carry on. Okay, everybody, I'm going to read this to you. So it's a blending of. Now, we were talking last week, Lorenda Carr and I had I think it was last week, it was actually, no, 2 weeks ago. We had a wonderful live stream we did together, and we talked about channeling and the different types of channeling. And so most of the time, what I'm doing when I'm doing these live streams is something I call conscious channeling. So there's different types. So if anyone's wondering, that's what it would be. And that's where I'm blending like I am as a medium with the deity or the goddess, and I'm bringing through messages. I'm not doing trance channeling. It's a little bit different, just in case, because I have a lot of people who are studying these things. So let's just see what we have for Frigg. Okay. All right. All right, so here we go. Her themes: marriage, childbirth, prophecy, domestic life and art, weaving, and women's mysteries. That is what I thought, because something I've been getting recently, and one of my students was mentioning this, and I've been getting this, is to be able to open up your third eye and to work more on claircognizance and also precognition, which is in fact using more, looking into the future more. Okay, so we will be working on that, I think, in my school, just so you know. Let's read a little bit of this, though. Frigg is a supreme goddess of Aesir who appears in Norse mythology and was also important to the Germanic peoples. Some scholars suspect the version of Frigg from the recorded Norse lore evolved out of a primordial mother goddess she might have been. Even though she is described as the highest among the goddesses, nearly all of the surviving sources mention her solely relation to the god, her husband, Odin. Yes. Okay. In Norse myth, Frigg is associated with love, marriage, and motherhood. As a domestic deity, she is also linked to weaving, as well as the arts of prophecy and clairvoyance. I just want to make a reference that some of these things, even as I'm reading them, some of the details, and this is part of my own education too, and is some of them I'm still learning about details with some of the goddesses because some of them are not, I'm not as aware of, and I haven't done as much research. But I just think it's so interesting how the message she gave us speaks to that, because she was doing a foretelling of things to come and to protect yourselves, right? So I think that's extremely helpful. Frigg resides in the swampy halls of Felisir along with her entourage of other goddesses. These deities sometimes refer to her as her handmaidens. One of them is the goddess Fula, who carries Frigg's ashen box full of secrets, often interpreted as a metaphor for women's mysteries. Frigg was said to know the fates of men and gods alike. Ooh, I think I need to work with her more. What do you guys think? But as Freya mentions in the poem Lokasina, she does not herself declare it. In Norse myth, Frigg is portrayed as a loving mother goddess, protecting her son Baldur and supporting her husband Odin. Now, usually I move ahead in these to get the connection and the correspondences, which I'll be doing. So, Frigg's handmaidens is what, okay, while each of Frigg's handmaidens is a powerful goddess in her own right. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. Welcome in. They all uplift and support the other women in her court. In modern times, you could say they are her tribe. Have you found your tribe yet? What role does friendship play in your life? How do you care for, nurture, or protect the people you love? Paradoxically, we live in an age of both under and over connectedness. Many of us spend hours in front of screens and pump most of our energy into our careers. Relationships tend to end up on the back burner. Frigg reminds you to focus on your connection with others. You don't have to do everything on your own. Allowing people into your life who want to love and nurture you may be hard for you at first, but it will be worth it. We all need each other, sometimes more than we are willing to admit. Life is short. Reach out to your chosen family and friends, even if it's just for a short call or a text message. Count your blessings. Okay, so here's some of the correspondences with her. So first of all, here's a few prompts, and you can look at this as her message for today. So it says, who can you be your most authentic self with? Do you think you are a good friend? Why or why not? How do you communicate with your friends? Are you aware of their wishes when it comes to contact frequency? Are you making an effort to stay in touch? This is really lovely. Okay, here's sort of some of the correspondences with Frigg. First of all, she connects with the birch tree, which is pretty funny because I have a birch tree in front of my house. I love that. Okay, birch holds a lot of spiritual meaning. The Berkano rune is often associated with both this tree and the goddess Frigg. It alludes to human rites of passages and is especially linked to birth and female fertility. To connect with Frigg, you can collect naturally peeled birch bark and use it as an offering. What a lovely gesture. I really love that. Or to smoke cleanse your house. Also, I'll have to tell my friend, because I have a dear friend who actually is a weaver. She literally has one of those old, I don't even know what they call it. essentially a loom. Yep. And she does weaving. She has a YouTube channel. So I'll have to talk to her about this. Okay, so weaving is a part of what is corresponding with her. And the final thing here is divination. Frigg possesses the gift of prophecy, which we have been talking about. And we're going to start working on that in my school. By the way, I'll talk to you guys more about that. She is said to know the fate of men and gods alike. To connect with her, you can invoke her blessing for your own divination practice, or use a divination tool of your choice to communicate with this goddess. From tarot cards to rune sets or scrying mirrors. I love that. There are countless ways to try divination for yourself or others. Pretty powerful. What do you guys think? I like her. Okay, so as always, what we do, last week we had Hecate, and we want to thank her for being here with us. She's always around for us anyway, because she's one of our patron deities here, especially with my school and also with me. But Frigg is now going to go up on the mantle. So we have her for an entire week as a patron deity to watch over us, also to connect with anyone's energy. So more than happy to share that with all of you. Okay, wonderful. So how are we feeling in there, chat? How are we doing? Again, my camera setup, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. First of all, if you're new, please feel free to say hello. If you just want to stay in the chat, no problem. I am okay with that. Whichever you're comfortable with is okay with me. And so I'll kind of let you guys know what's next, what we're doing on here as far as what's next for what we have. Okay, so next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the Akashic Records messages. Now, I have to tell you guys, I was tapping into the Akashic Records. It fits our friendship perfectly. Exactly. I have to tell you guys something. I was tapping into the Akashic Records just before I came on live, about an hour ago. Half an hour ago, sorry. And the guides there are bringing forth some really strong messages for this collective. So all I can say is buckle up, because, and just like what Frigg was saying, I think this time right now is a time of really of being clear and of owning your power and of boundaries, and also to understand how things are changing in the world. And it's meant to strengthen us and to give us power and clarity, insight and wisdom, and also to make us aware of how to stay strong and centered during this time of change on the planet. The other thing I wanted to say is I have been connecting in again, and next week I think we're going to do this. Okay, Rosie, I'm ready. So next, I was going to try and get it ready for today, but I said to the guides, and they knew it, I said, I'm not ready to do this, and I think we'll do it next week, everybody. So make sure you're here live for that. Next week, we might have a slightly different format, because I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of some teaching. Next week, I'm going to talk to you all, and this is my understanding as I've been shown it, about the different dimensions that we connect with, right? So we consider ourselves to be in the third dimension. You hear a lot about the fifth dimension. And again, I'm trying to make things as clear as possible for everybody, so everybody feels empowered, everybody feels clear, everybody feels in like they have insight. So I'm going to go, I've taught this class. I haven't taught it in a couple years. And it's a class on learning the different dimensions. And with that class, we're going to also be talking about the different spirits that are in the different dimensions. Now, many spirits, it's in the dimensions, it's not always black and white. It's really like just turning, it's not, and they're not literal levels. That's our human brain trying to analyze dimensions, but they are frequencies, right? And they are all interconnected. And when you start to tune into them, just like when you start to tune into different spirits, and it helps you tremendously with your ascension process, your growth, your spiritual development, and things of that nature. But my guides have been saying this is time again. I haven't taught it in a while. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to also talk about the different types of spirits, because I imagine that more of you are going to start connecting with these different spirits that are available to us, which is incredible. Not the void. I don't think so. Well, I don't see that coming up for this time. That's not on the list this time. The void. Yeah, no, we're going to be talking more about dimensions of reality. And it was interesting, even today earlier, I was going on to a few scientists' website just because I thought I want to hear how they're explaining dimensions and then how a spiritual teacher teaches them. And I think it's good to hear both. Like, what did Einstein believe, right? I think it's good to compare them and just go based on what feels right. So that's why I need more. I need a week to prepare for that. So make sure you're here. That might be a little bit of a longer session. We'll certainly do readings as well. But as most of you know, I am an educator as well as a reader. And so my heart is in helping people develop and get discernment and understand, their consciousness, and in general, just connect with spirit. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We're going to move into, also make sure you stay to the end, because every single live stream, I always do a giveaway at the very end for those who stay. There's one lucky winner. All right, and I already have everything all set. Okay, let's get started and move into the Akashic Records reading. I'm bringing out one of my beautiful decks, which I absolutely adore, which is, you're not going to be able to see it. If you like this deck, I can't pin them yet on YouTube, but this is called the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot Deck. It's very, a little bit medieval, very pagan. I love it. It's elegant. It's beautiful. So we're going to be using that, and I'm going to just charge right in. I'm also going to talk to you about what the guides were saying to me before I entered in. When I went into the Akashic Records, the guides said to me that a lot of people right now are going to start clearing out their sixth chakra. So their clairvoyance, also their crown chakra. And if you've already been having this experience, please feel free to write that in the chat and chat with each other about it. So what that means is, as we're opening up our third eye and our crown chakra, right, we're starting to take off the mask of the lens of part of what has been we've bought into and how we've numbed out here in the third dimension, essentially. Again, that's why we're teaching this next week, which means that we've believed the programs, we've believed, what religion has told us, we believe what governments have told us, we believe things without even questioning them a lot of the time. And for many, many lifetimes, that worked for centuries. That's what we all bought into, because that was what we all agreed upon. Yep, exactly. Well, and everyone's teaching everyone. I always say we are in a round table, all helping each other. We are on a round table, all help each other. There's no hierarchy. So I like to always say that. Let me my blanket. Straighten that out. So perfectly human, perfectly divine. So let's continue. So one of the things that I really feel is happening, and I'm seeing this, and I'm getting this also from some of the other channelers that I watch, and they're having me watch channelers again. I haven't done that in so long, because I usually kind of just follow my flow with my guides, but it confirms what I'm picking up on and what's coming in. And so what they're saying is that, as we are, our vibration is raising, and as we're clearing out these old blockages and also these old programs, which are from many lifetimes that we've been carrying within our blueprint and in our template, our auric field, and in our light body, and we're releasing all that. So what happens when that happens, which means that things that we used to just blindly believe that's going to start shifting. And so that means many of us are going to maybe be a little disoriented. We're going to also feel a possible disconnection with institutions, things that we used to just completely abide by and listen to. So I just want I want to give spaciousness to say it's okay if you feel that way, and that it's actually part of the ascension process. Many, many people are going through this. Most of you who are watching would be sort of on the forefront of that, because you're even having these conversations. So that's one of the things the Akashic Records guides really wanted you all to know today when I checked in, is that just pay attention to, you don't have to believe everything that you hear, first of all, and that most people really are just running on programs and not always from their divine source. So look at things in a different way. And this is not to disorientate us to the world around us. This is just to observe and to be objective. All right. So with that in mind, let's get into the reading. Just a little light reading. Just a little light reading. It's so funny because when I asked all you guys, do you guys want me to do astrology? Like, do you want me to go through Capricorn, go through Pisces? My group was like, no, we want to talk about ascension. We want to talk about the Akashic Records. We want to talk about spiritual growth and manifestation. I'm here for it. We are definitely a match, all of us. Yes, it is. That's the beginning. All right, let's talk about this energy that I'm seeing right here, validated by the cards here. Exactly. Straight to the fun part. That's us. All right. I'm going to explain these cards just a little bit. So we have the Knight of Pentacles next to the Six of Swords. You'll just be able to barely make these out, but I'll show them to you anyway. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Now, when we see the Six of Swords, typically that means we're moving on from a difficult situation. We're moving into a new place with our thoughts, our beliefs, as well as our communication. So we're no longer in the place of, in swords, one, ace, where we're getting the idea, two, where we're feeling conflicted and we're stuck, three, where we're dealing with past pain, and then four, where we're taking a moment to breathe and figure out the next step. Five, we are in conflict and very much there's a state of a bit of disappointment, confusion. Now we're moving into a place of empowerment. But I want to let you know, change is not always easy. The Knight of Pentacles is also, it's a slow moving card. It's a slow moving knight. So even though he's on the go, he's moving forward, he also isn't moving fast. And this is because, so if you're more tired than normal, if you're exhausted, if it's taking a little longer to do anything that you normally used to be able to do very quickly, it is not because you're not growing. It is simply because you are releasing things literally from your cellular makeup, from your light body, and from your consciousness that have kept you in slumber. And so it's really important time to resonate with your heart space, to take time off, to be able to relax, and again, dismantle. I suspect many of you are going to sometimes even say, if normally you would distract yourself with the television or, watching videos, I think you're going to start feeling like that doesn't quite get it anymore. I think there's going to be a switch in how everybody soothes themselves. And so know that that's probably going to happen. I think many of you are going to be taking up things that fulfill creative energy. So that means I'm seeing, don't be surprised if you start wanting to do painting or drawing or learn maybe how to cross stitch or even sewing or learning a whole new art form, ceramics. I would say flow with that. Flow with that is what I'm getting. The other thing is, you're pulling the Fool card, right? Absolutely. And I'll get to the chat. One sec, guys. I love that you guys are talking to each other. So there's not so the Fool card means we're in a whole new phase. We're in a whole new journey. And I can feel that because I'm totally good. I'm really getting the chills on this one. So that's always my confirmation from the guides that this is a yes. So remember I said you might be a little bit stuck. You might be a little bit at an impasse. You might think, okay, I'm ready to release this, but then you hit an impasse. Don't be too concerned. It's temporary. You can see the Fool's ready to go. He's got everything he needs, but then he's hitting the Two of Swords. And that's where you're coming up against internal blockages. But you are releasing. Yes, someone's saying the TV is annoying. The TV is annoying. Yeah, it's very interesting how when we things that used to fulfill us on when we're on our path doesn't do it anymore. And it's like if you're in frequency with it, it's great, but it doesn't. Things that used to like interest you are not the same. Okay. I'm going to get to the comments as soon as I'm done in this. I love that you guys are chatting. Let's see what else we have. So we have the Emperor card. I know what this is. I know what this is. Okay, let me get the other two. Very interesting. Okay, so remember I said in the very beginning when I was talking to the guardians, some of the guides that are in the Akashic records. And I really wouldn't be surprised if some of them were archangels, because I work with archangels, and archangels are really available to us anytime we ask for help, always. And you might want to try speaking to them if you go into the Akashic records. And if you want to know how to go into the Akashic records just for yourself, I have a video that's on a playlist. That's a meditation that can take you there, as well as a guide that's on my page that's free to download. Let's start about this. It's hard to tell, but this is the Emperor card next to the Five of Wands. I want to say something, and this is where the guide said to me, and usually they don't use this strong of language, but they're saying you've been duped. Many of you have been fooled, and you've been tricked into believing the lies that society tells you. And so the main thing is, I want you to use your discernment and not believe everything you're being told. And that also means don't get caught up in fear, because a lot of what you're getting, and I'm sure you all know this already, but in case this is new for you, I would say what we are often taught and what we are consuming is based on fear and of lack. And something horrible is going to happen, right? If you don't play along, if you don't do this, if you don't play the game right, you're going to lose everything. So be very aware of that kind of language and programming. It's very important to step away from that. And and we can see this here with this masculine. All right. This is the toxic patriarchy. I wish you guys could see. So this is the toxic patriarchy. In this form, it's coming through as the Emperor. So the Emperor is basically dominating, telling you you're wrong, you shouldn't trust your feelings, your divine feminine instincts. Does that sound familiar, everyone? Again, this isn't about male, female. This is about an energy. Also, one of the things that the toxic patriarchy likes to do is throw you off your game, throw you off your balance. Five of Wands likes to scatter your energy and disempower you. So it may seem it's quite subconscious for many of us. We just buy into it and assume that's the way it is, so we don't challenge it. But now is the time to challenge it. That's really what they're getting me. And I'm telling you, my sixth chakra is really booming right now. And I'm going to read what someone wrote in a second. But let's continue with this first reading. The next set of cards I'm getting for this first Akashic Records reading is the Seven of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles back to back. That's a very good sign when you're getting two cards in a row. It means that you're going through a version of that part of a lesson you're learning is really, you're pushing it through. So recently in readings, we've seen the Five of Pentacles come up. And the Five of Pentacles is when we feel fear, lack. We're in our lower chakras, not feeling the abundance of spirit, not seeing how we are the creators. Creation isn't outside of us. So, and any ideas we have about foundational things to do with finances or stability, security, that we are moving all those programs out of our lower chakras and we're moving it into the upper chakras. So we have six and seven here. Good duo. Six of Pentacles is really saying we deserve to be, and the new paradigm should be where instead of believing the patriarchal information, those paradigms you see all around us, especially in Western culture, which push us always into essentially taxing ourselves, being burnt out, overexpending our energy, having imbalances in our work-life balance, as well as our relationships, toxicity, fear, judgment. we are moving here into balance with the Six of Pentacles. So that means creating a solid foundation of equanimity or give and take. That's a beautiful sign. And also this is connecting us to Mother Earth, because Earth energy is the divine mother. That is it's a feminine energy. Earth energy is Gaia, right? So what is the earth and of what are you creating? Okay. But then we have Seven of Pentacles. Now that's where we get into discernment. So discernment is so important. We know this. And how do we decide when we're in this situation? Let's just evaluate this maybe from the position of a career. And you can feel that you're in a situation that is really putting you at a disadvantage, and that you want to move into something else that feels more in alignment for your well-being. But because of feeling as though, there's that program that runs that tells you, well, what else is going to make me this much money? Or measuring everything in a very narrow way, it's really suggesting take a look and let go of the things that aren't working anymore. It's okay to disengage from those things, because so many readings I'm doing as of late over and over again are for people that are really stepping out of the programs that they've been running on, and that have said to them they don't have a choice, and to play small, and to make and they're at the point they're not wanting to make those decisions anymore. They want to be in a place of alignment. So now is the time. All right, let's do the final cards on this read, and then I'm going to get into the comments. I'm getting the chills right away. I can just feel that. See, this is what we're up against. This is why we have to be vigilant we have to be vigilant for our own energy. Okay. And why is that? We're really working deeply in the subconscious as a collective. If this resonates for you, that means that we are, and it might feel sometimes as though you're in a repetitive pattern and it keeps happening, but it is being removed from your consciousness. Remember that. And you're coming back into balance and into truth in your energy. Back to back, we have Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords. This is some of the hardest, most challenging cards in tarot right here. But remember, as you're pulling these out of your body, literally, and out of your consciousness and out of your awareness, it will, and I promise you, will get better. Also note that even some of you are changing the chemistry in your brain. Again, your third eye, your thought processes, you are opening up to a lighter energy and lighter frequency. And this is going to really go to the edge here. Well, but I think you'll all understand this. As you release these thoughts, these beliefs, these paradigms that we've been living in this fog, living on Earth, we then introduce the light codes that come from Source, the divine, and we up-level our energy, our consciousness, and we can accept those into our awareness. And then we can really live without the mask on, right? We can live without that hood over your third eye, and to be in more alignment in such a beautiful way. And that is coming, but it's going to be tough for a few weeks. It's going to be tough for a few weeks. I do feel that. I feel like it's going to be another 2 weeks of challenge. Okay. I'm going to check on the chat and answer any questions. And and if you also want to comment after this, feel free. I'll come back and listen to these questions. I'm just going to go back, and hopefully this will also help you too. I'm going to bring these questions up and listen. So Amber says, I was thinking the other day that opening my third eye, Claire's, is like the thanks sound in the movie theater. THX sound. Okay. Like this amazing yet occasionally overwhelming expansion. Familiar yet new all at once. That's a really lovely statement. I love that. Thank you for mentioning that. Fantastic. And then we also got, Michael said, Knight of Pentacles has been very prominent as of late, 100%. Same, same. Exactly. All right, fantastic. So let's take a big deep breath. That was a big reading. Already, I feel like that was 100 readings in one reading, but I want to see what else is here for us. When I'm tapping into the records, I feel more of a lighter feminine energy coming in. So I'm going to see where they want me to go. I feel like we have, like in the Akashic records, we can connect with different guides, just so you know. There's a lot of different things you can do in the Hi Leanne. There's a lot of different things we can do in the Akashic records. And I teach these classes. And if you're ever interested, please check out I have everything is linked below. I'll be doing an upcoming training soon, but you can connect with not only the wisdom from the Akashic records, which you can tap into that higher consciousness. You can also talk to different guides and deities and ancestors, as well as archangels, ascended masters. So it's a wonderful resource to have and to use. And I'm just going to see where this is a little bit of a different message. And I'm going to see who's here. So I'm going to close my eyes and see who's coming through from the Akashic records. I feel like someone else is stepping forward. Okay, so rather than doing a card reading, this is going to be another channeled message. And again, just to say for demonstration, I'm not doing trance channeling in this, mainly because I do a lot of different kinds of readings. So that will come up. I'm going to start to be doing more channeled, deeper channeling. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you information about that on the channel. But this is going to be more of conscious channeling, which means I'm connecting with different beings and just connecting with them like I would if I was a medium, blending with them. Okay, so I was wondering when this ascended master would come, and it doesn't surprise me that it's today. So I want to talk about sorry, I had a moment of pause. I want to give him a proper introduction. So I want to talk about Saint Germain, who actually is an ascended master. And so Saint Germain essentially as it has been told, right? And again, everything in this would be based on people's personal experience and what they've channeled. So, but Saint Germain was known to have incarnated in many different lifetimes at key times throughout the world's history. Okay. And so he was there during the French Revolution, allegedly. And then also he was there around the time of signing of the Declaration of Independence. So he tends to come and connect with us during times of great transition. Not to be confused at all, because right now we are in the age of Aquarius, and I'm very, very much in square awareness of that, especially as of late, even more so. And so he tends to be sort of like the father of the age of Aquarius. Now, something specifically which is great about Saint Germain that I appreciate, and this is my experience, is that he has a very great sense of humor. And he also is a little bit more closely linked to humans. Now, when we're connecting with, say, archangels, they have a different feeling and a different energy to them, because they are much more connected to the blueprint of what makes up our universe. And they're not as close to, say, human energy. And so the ascended masters would be similar to deities in the sense that they're pretty closely linked to humans. So the thing that I love about Saint Germain is that he helps us by using a specific tool called the violet flame. And let me know in the comments if you have ever worked with the violet flame. So the violet flame is essentially an energy. And if we look at with our naked eye, we see a range of colors, right? We can see orange, green, blue, yellow, red, and so on. Violet is just above, the next stage above on the spectrum of light, is what you can't see with your naked eye. But also on an energy level, a frequency level, it helps us when we're in these 3D bodies as a tool, and we use it as a tool for transformation. So one of the things he is mentioning to us is that we can use, you've heard of the emerald flame. Fantastic, fantastic. So one of the things that we can use is the violet flame. And the violet flame has no heat to it. It is a flameless flame. But what we can do, and we can do this exercise together now, I think it would be fantastic because I think he wants us to do that to clear out our chakra systems as well as our light bodies. So let's give it a moment now. I think that's what we'll do now. Okay. So everybody who's here, and if you're watching on the replay, fantastic. You can do this too. There'll be timestamps if you want to come back to it. But I'm going to have us take a moment. We're going to do this together. Okay. Very simple. I'm going to walk us through it. So if you're able to, and if you can watch this later if you're busy, go ahead and just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Again, another one in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. And I want you just to imagine, whether you see it or not, there's a very strong grounding cord. The grounding cord emerges from the base of your spine. It can be a root. It can be it can look like it's a light beam. It can look like it's a tree stump, whatever comes forward for you. Perfect. I just want you to imagine that it's the width of your hips. And you can just imagine it's going down through all the layers of the earth effortlessly. And as it merges with the earth, it then finds its way to the very, very center of the earth. And as this happens, your energy field, your aura just begins to relax and expand. Very good. And then what you want to do, whether you see it or not, does not matter. The main thing we want to do is be neutral and objective and not go into effort. But above your head, I want you to imagine that, and this is being placed on you, and you don't have to see it. This is Saint Germain is helping you as a facilitator. But right above your head, there's a beautiful violet flame. It's as wide as your aura. Just imagine it there above your head. And then without effort, I just want you to intend for it to come down through the top of your head. Again, you don't have to make it happen. It happens on its own. And just imagine it's going down through the very top of your crown. Don't forget to breathe. And then it gently moves down into the third eye, sixth chakra, effortlessly. And breathe. Just allow it to consume and transmute and release anything that might be ready to unplug itself from your system and be released. Very good. And if it needs to stay in any one of the chakras longer, that's okay. Let it do what it's meant to do. We're not going to force it. Then just imagine it's going down into your throat chakra. It's a lot of energy here. Breathe. Excellent. And then next it goes down into your heart chakra in your chest. And breathe. Just notice how you feel, what you observe. Notice if you have any unconscious energy. If you start feeling sleepy, just pay attention to that. It's okay. And then have it go down into your abdomen, your third chakra, solar plexus. Breathe. And then still down further, down into your second chakra, right 2 inches below your belly button. Breathe. And then down into the base of your spine, your first chakra. And now it's going to go down through your first chakra, and it's going to split. It's going to go in 3 places, down your legs very easily, but also then down your grounding cord. It's doing all the work. You don't need to make it happen. Breathe. And just know that this violet flame is also releasing anything that might be in your aura, your light body, anything around you. You can also do this same exercise in your home, in your room, in your car, anywhere where you inhabit space. Okay. Take your time, take a few breaths, and we will thank Saint Germain. And then we will go ahead and open our eyes and just take your time. Easy peasy. Right? So easy. I knew today was going to be a teaching day. I would love to know if you decided to join us in the exercise or if you do it later on the replay, how you found that. If you've ever done it, some people have already done it. It's one of the things, it's one of my go-tos. I absolutely love it. It's so simple. One of my absolute favorite ones. Easy peasy. I love easy, simple things. That's what we love. Gratitude. Yay. I'm so glad, Arlene, because you had said you did the emerald one, which I kind of feel is connected to Archangel Raphael, but let me know what you think. Ladora, I'm going to send your thing. Don't worry. Okay. So Ladora says, my hands got crazy tingles and I yawned a lot. And I'll tell you why you yawned a lot in a second. I did too. Arlene says, I love the exercise. And that makes me so happy. So I will tell you on these live streams, yes, I do readings, but I'm going to probably be doing a lot of little teaching and pop-up stuff. Okay. That's going to be happening. So I'll just stay tuned. Okay. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about, thank you for sharing that, Ladora, why we have unconscious, why we get sleepy. I'm so glad, Elizabeth. I'm glad that you like that. Makes me happy. I'm glad it's useful. What I want is for these exercises to be useful. We want you to walk away with something you can really use in your everyday life, right? Not a 30-step process. And you don't even have to see the violet flame. I just want to add that. You can literally just say, I call upon the violet flame. Okay. Rosie says, I did it. I feel the flame oozing out of my body at the end. Yay. That's what we want. Here's what I want to say. Any exercise that's like this, it has its own awareness, its own consciousness. It does its thing. So don't feel like you have to force something. If you ask it, it will happen. And if you call upon them, violet flame again. Yep. Yep. Violet flame is something that I don't know where it started. And, whether we not the origins of Saint Germain, it is what it is, as it is with many. Absolutely, Arlene. Everything you're getting, you can 100% do it at home. That's why I teach it. Everything I'm doing, you're absolutely encouraged to do it at home. We should do it anytime you need it. That's what it's for. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what Ladora said, which is very helpful. Why do we feel tired all of a sudden? Okay, if we're maybe not necessarily tired. The reason we feel tired is because you are releasing unconscious energy. Now, sometimes you go mundane and you say, I'm just tired. And yeah, sometimes we are. But have you ever noticed, and I'm going to mention this too, I hope it's okay that I share this. I don't know if Amber's still here. I'll wait to get her permission. But so if you've ever noticed, you'll be totally fine, but then you feel tired. And often, not every time, but it's because you are actually releasing unconscious energy. Energy like what we just talked about from the Akashic Records reading, where we are stepping into a higher state of consciousness, right? So when we're stepping into a higher state of consciousness, we're releasing the programs that we once had, which means we're getting clearer, which means they have to go somewhere. So sometimes you literally just feel exhaustion. Isn't that amazing? Let me get this. So it actually gave me an energy surge. Yeah. That's what it's doing, because it's a higher frequency. So it's giving you, right? Isn't that interesting? Love it. Still here, had to leave and come back. Chat shut down. Okay. Amber, I wanted to say, I don't want you to have to share this if you don't want to, but are you comfortable sharing a little bit about, your story of getting tired? Do you mind sharing that in any way you're comfortable with? I'm trying to make a point and you can say it, I don't want to speak for you, but when we get tired of there's all of a sudden, and as it shows up as energy, right? And while Amber's seeing if she comments, I'm going to get ready to do the ancestors. Okay. And they want me to bring out my ancestor deck, so I'm going to do that. Also, make sure you guys stay to the end because I do a giveaway every single time. And Ladora, I wasn't able to get to the post office today, but Monday it's happening. This week, I should say. I actually share a car with my husband because I'm waiting to get a new car till next year because I work from home. I don't really need one to have it every week. And so was able to get to it. But Monday I will have the car. All right. All right, let's go ahead and just start tuning into our ancestors. We're going to shift gears now. We are going to be connecting. Oh, yeah. Oh, good, Arlene. Anytime. You can just join for free, Arlene, by the way. Yes, I know. Amber, take your time. And while you're doing that, Leanne's like, remember when you were at church? I love it. Okay, so while Amber's doing that, I'm going to start checking in. Yeah, Arlene, you can just join because I do some complimentary things in there. But I will tell you, I'm going to announce this at the end of this reading. I have some announcements to start making about things I'm offering in my school for membership stuff. So there's some exciting things that are coming up that I'm adding on that I've just decided I'm going to do. So stay tuned. I'll be announcing that over time. And while Amber maybe is responding, I am going to start tapping into our ancestors to see what we're getting. A collective message. I'm making sure my guides know this is a collective message. Collective ancestor message. All right, let's see. What do we want to know, ancestors? This is from all of you as a collective, so you all have to agree. What's the message going to be? The other thing I want to say to you guys is that you can definitely write in the comments on the subscriber page the types of videos you want me to make. I've got some really good ideas. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put this in from, this is the message. I'm going to read this for Amber. So Amber went to church because she sings at church, very tired last week. And she realized she was feeling exhausted and that it wasn't her energy. And so she called upon her ancestors and Hecate and Mary and Mother Mary to assist her to help transmute the energy. This is just an example. They helped push out the foreign energy and helped me build a wall of protection. So this is how it can show up, is sometimes in the form of all of a sudden, like Amber was very aware of her own energy and she asked for support in this case. So any way you can to move out energy and get protection is fantastic. Ancestors are very good for that, as well as the goddesses. And also, as we said, whoever you're feeling, to move with, there's a lot that can help. Okay. Here we go. I'm getting the message from the ancestors while Amber is finishing. Okay. All right. Here we go. Got a lot of cards coming out from them. A lot of cards coming out from the ancestors. Let's see. We have a lot of family members coming in here. So here's the message. So take this into your heart if this makes sense. I definitely get that I'm just getting a general thing, okay? I'm getting a couple of different energies, and they'll be a collective, remember? So we've definitely got a few mothers coming in, as well as there's a grandmother and an aunt energy coming in right away for me. So this would be also possibly for you. It's again for a group. Absolutely, Arlene. So here's the last part of her. Within a minute or two, the exhaustion was gone and I was me again. So she knew the differentiation. So what you can start with, Arlene, and everyone else, when you start to feel that way, what you can do is simply just the first sort of thing you can start with is just fill yourself up with a golden sun. You can also just do the violet flame, and then you can call upon your guides, your ancestors for protection and to give you, and so what will happen over time is you'll become attuned to it very early on as it just starts, and then you'll call upon it, and that's how you do it. Everything that when it comes to things that are of spiritual steps to help your energy should be very simple and work for you, not complicated. So that was really natural for Amber. She felt comfortable with that. She did it within a couple minutes, boom, right in church. All right, let me get to the reading. You guys feel free to keep chatting. So there are the feminine is coming through in this reading for all of you. So we're getting aunts, we're getting moms and grandmothers coming through. I can see that in this reading. So this for me is a maternal energy, the Queen of Pentacles. This deck I use specifically just for ancestor work as well as in when I do mediumship. Then we're also getting, this is the aunt grandmother energy, right? And this one definitely feels like it's either a sister or someone. It could be been a friend in the spirit world. So we have a collective of them coming out here. So there is definitely, I want to say, I feel like because of this reading that many of you are having woes because of finances. So that's definitely coming up, and that often we're in a state of a couple of things going on when it comes to how we feel about money. So, and we're going to be talking about this in the school more and more about manifesting and about the law of assumption, the law of abundance, and we're going to be working on that energy more and more, right? So throughout, so stay tuned for that. The other thing I really want to let you know is that this energy that you're coming up to flush out around finances, around will you have enough? Have you saved enough? There's just a sense of concern. There's a sense of displaced worry. There's a sense of not being certain if what the future will bring. What if you make a change? It's just, there's a sense of tenseness. Okay, Five of Pentacles is coming in here, which is definitely this point where we start to feel, shut down, and we start believing maybe, oh, we can manifest what we want. We can visualize it. We can imagine it, but is it going to happen? Is it really, really going to happen? And I want to say that's really part of the process, is that you go through a point of skepticism. And these are the times when you want to, and I will tell you what works for me and see if it works for you. That's when I ask my guides for help. And I say, listen, I'm really trying to bridge the gap here between what you're wanting me to, what I feel I'm meant to manifest. And that feels in alignment for me in my home, my family, my work, my abundance. But yet something on the outside doesn't feel like it's happening. So I'm doubting it, right? And that's the time you really want to say to your spirit guides, listen, I need some help here. Help me change my perspective. Help me change my belief. Help me change my situation. Help me release the fear. Help me. And I promise you, every time when you do that, you will be met with support. So, and you're not expected to be perfect on the journey. And believe me, your guides really know that as well. They know that, and they know it's very difficult to work. And so we're getting Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is really that it's that energy, right? It's the one that stays stagnant. It's the one that holds on to things. It's the one that wants to preserve everything. It's the one that doesn't want to move forward. And it's the one that really wants you to push away and to kind of escape and to be smaller and to hold on to what you have. And right away, that's when we want to think, okay, I can see right now that I'm shutting down and I need some help with my attitude. And no, it's a process of learning about the law of attraction and manifestation. It takes time. Right away, I just have to say this for me is a card. It's a Queen of Swords. So for me, this is this is personal, obviously. This is the goddess Hecate. And you don't have to work with her, but she is a goddess she works with, I'll call them the dead, even though we know they're not dead. She works with our ancestors. She's a very good bridge to the ancestor world, just so you know. And she's always a protector of us. So she's watching out for us in the liminal spaces, and she's watching out for us as we're in transition, right? And let's see what this comment is. Wonderful. Okay. I've always had it projected upon me that we shouldn't focus on manifestation for money. You know what? I kind of like that idea in one way. I'll tell you why. Because rather than manifesting money, right, you want to manifest what you want, the experience, how you want to feel, how you want to experience something. It's so much more. So if you want to experience abundance, you want to experience happiness, right? It's not just on the dollar. That's absolutely right. I mean, I think if I'm hearing you correctly, I think that's what it is. And that means that we should focus instead on how do we want to feel. Now, sometimes what happens is, and this is very normal, say this for myself, and what your ancestors are saying, we have the Knight of Swords here, which tends to be the one that charges forward and says, let's just fix the problem. Okay, forget it. I'm just going to get a third job and I'm going to work a lot of hours. I'm going to make sure I do it. And you're trying to think your way out of it. One of the problems when we try to think our way out of it, first of all, we don't necessarily learn what we need to learn when it comes to the manifesting journey, which is to let go and trust. But also we run ahead into something we cannot necessarily, and that isn't for us because we're wiping out the intuitive process. But also 9 of Wands is here. This is a little bit of us feeling worn out, feeling a bit of exhaustion around this process of having to deal with things around finances, making choices around them, right? Things of that nature. So there's a little bit of weariness, which is your ancestors are like, we know it's hard. We have been there. Also, when it comes to making money, your ancestors, many of them, some of them are going to really know what that's like, and they're going to be able to help you. So be sure to call upon them is what I'm hearing. And the final card for this, I'm also going to do an oracle read, is the Wheel of Fortune. That means change is here. But change sometimes doesn't happen overnight, and it makes us release something on the way as the wheel is turning. It's also the ending of cycles. It's the final piece of something happening. So it's not necessarily that, you're done yet. There's a process still that's occurring. So those are your ancestors coming through, and that theme specifically has been coming up off and on. Now I'm going to pull this. This is a wonderful oracle deck. I don't know if any of you have this one. It's the Moonology Manifestation deck. It's one of my favorite for manifesting specifically because it works a lot with cycles again. All right, let's see. What is it we need to hear, ancestors? What's the final word here, please? So we're looking at Virgo, which is very handy. We have the first quarter moon in Virgo. Assess the situation. This means using your logic and a grounded approach. I'm actually going to leave that up there right next to Frigg. I feel like we need to hear that this week. So what that essentially means is that we want to go about this using logic a bit more and reason rather than jumping into new situations, if that makes sense to you. And it really shows as well that patience and understanding the process and actually see your progress, see how far you've come. Really important piece of this puzzle. All right. We want to thank your ancestors for coming forth today, bringing through these wonderful messages of abundance and clarity and confirmation and support. We appreciate them. And I'm going to read some of the comments, and then we're going to go into our contest, our giveaway. So stay tuned. Make sure you stick around. if you want to participate. Okay, hang on a sec. Put these away. Let's read some of the comments. All right, here we go. So Michael said, we held tightly when the world gave us little. We saved scraps, stretched meals, hid coins beneath. This is from some of his something, a piece he wrote. We protected our own, but holding too tightly can choke growth. You are safe now. You can open your hand. Isn't that wonderful? Piece of Michael's work. Beautiful. That's a beautiful piece, especially when it comes to that, such an important life lesson. Gorgeous. All right, friends. So here's what we're going to do. Every week, where's my one that I'm looking for? I just saw it. Hang on, friends. I have it. I'll show it to you. Give me a sec. Oh, there it is. Every week, I give away a tarot deck. Didn't you love that? Isn't that wonderful? Michael, you should probably post that on the school website. Also, feel free to join my school. It's absolutely free. It's called the Sacred Seal School. We have a private community platform, and I go live there once or twice a month. And it's a really encouraging place. And also it leads into, if you're interested in more information, more support, more education, more experiences with others and things that I do, I have a membership that is there as well. Open to everyone. Okay, guys. So here's what we're doing. If you want to be considered and put yourself, I'll get all my stuff out for this because I came prepared this time. Hang on a second. Find everything I need to find. Here it is. Okay, friends, here we go. So if you would like to be considered for this tarot deck, which I'm going to show you in about 2 seconds, please feel free to put your name in the chat and I will be picking it. So here is the deck for today. This is the Tattoo Tarot deck. Oh, it's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard to see. So feel free to look it up right now if you want to. These images look a lot like someone who like a tattoo, essentially. It's going to be hard to see, but they're very, they have it's the full tarot. Oh yeah, no. Every week we do a raffle. So everyone who wants to participate puts their name in. Yeah, so I'll tell you how to do it. Absolutely. I'll tell you how to play in just a second. So every week I give away one little tarot deck, right? So these are very cool, right? This is like the 10 of Swords. It's just super cool. All right, so this is how we do it. Good. So all you guys have to do is put your first name in the chat if you haven't won yet. This is the good thing about when you show up. And we still are a small group. One day we're going to have to do a whole big wheel and do it ahead of time when we start getting 100 or more people in here, which will happen. But go ahead and just put your first name down, and then I'll put you guys in this bag, and then we'll pick a person. Yay! Oh, please. Okay, so I'm already seeing. I'm going to write these names down because I already know you want to be in it. So we have Rosie. I'm already seeing. Awesome. Oh, I love that you guys want to participate. Amber. Okay. I love you guys want to do this. This is so exciting. All right. Miss Arlene. And then all you have to do when you become the winner, guys, is you just have to send me an email with your address. Anna. And then also, guys, make sure to, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. All right. And then make sure you like the post, things like that. Miss Lizzie. All right. Leanne. Absolutely. And I got Michael on there too. Okay. Miss Leanne. Okay. And then got your Rosie girl. Michael. Okay. I'm going to say all the names. And if I didn't write it down, let me know. Oh, of course. I know. Exactly. Awesome. Here we go. If I'm doing roll call for everybody who said they wanted to participate. We have Amber, Rosie, Lizzie, Arlene, Anna, Leanne, and Michael. Did I miss anybody? And then make sure you email me at carey.thepsychic@gmail.com and then with your address. And I'm going to be sending this out on Monday because I can this Monday. I've already had someone who, as it was last week, has been waiting forever. Now, at some point, I don't know what it's going to be, a special occasion, probably. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do it like we're going to do a special one, probably for like 6 weeks in a row. Whoever comes every single time, and I'll keep track of who comes. And I'm going to be giving away a full size deck. But that will be, I'll let you know when that starts. It's not there. I think we got everybody. Okay, let me put these in. All right, I'm going to close them. Put them in the bag so you can all see. Right? One. Also, to let everybody know, Leanne's already signed up. I have a 12-week intuitive tarot class starting on Thursday. And if you're interested, all the information is on my website. Also, the links in my profile. So if you want to join us, please feel free. There are payment plans. Love to have you. Okay, here we go. I know, isn't that fun, Leanne? Don't you love a contest? Me too. It's kind of like bonus. All right. Okay. I wish everybody luck. I'm going to pick with my non-dominant hand. Put your energy on it. All right, let's see who we got. All right, who's it gonna be? Oh, yes, I got it. I got it, Rosie. Thank you so much. I got it. I did. Lizzie, congratulations. All right, Lizzie girl got this time, but remember, come back next week because I do it every week. And so, fuzz. Very exciting. Very exciting. Woohoo! Lizzie's like, yes. Don't worry. If you show up enough, you will eventually win, right? And in fact, I need to order some more because I'm starting to run out of the ones I love. I've got to order a bunch. So happy you all were here. First of all, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. First of all, to come in for your own growth, development, and healing. That's the first thing. Second of all, make sure you also sign up for my school. It's absolutely free to join. The link is on my page. You can just request to join. Now, I'm going to be going live on that channel twice this week because I'm preparing for my tarot class coming up. So I always usually promote it. And some of my students are going to be doing free readings on there. So make sure you're signed up and you get the notifications. You have to download the app onto your phone or your computer. It's nice to see it from your computer because then you can see the full screen. And I will approve you to join, of course, for free. And yeah, and then we have lots of time for people to connect and things like that. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here and for being so supportive of me and my channel. I love you guys. And I love hanging out on YouTube. It's actually my favorite platform. It's my favorite platform of all the platforms. It's my favorite. And I think because it's an educational place, and that's my thing. So first of all, have a wonderful weekend. I hope you all get lots of sun. Remember the lessons that we learned about disconnecting from the patriarchy. And also, Ladora, I'm sending yours out on Monday. I was just mentioning that because I wasn't able to get to the post office this week, but I am going on Monday because we're sharing a car in my household and it's a long But anyway, I want to thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm wishing you all so much love. And thank you for being here, guys. I'll see you next week, if not sooner. All right, take care.